The anointed ones, welcome. You were created to rewrite the laws of life, not only to survive. Have you ever wondered why you were put on this chaotic spinning rock at this precise time in history, out of 8 billion souls? Consider this. There is a 1 in 400 trillion chance that you were born with your DNA and awareness precisely as you are. You are essentially a statistical miracle. The cosmos did not just choose you at random like a cosmic lottery. The hitch is that miracles don't just happen. They happen to cause a stir. Why are you here then? Why now? The fact is that your life isn't random chaos. Rather, it's an encrypted message that is just waiting for you to decipher it, even if you feel like it has been dragging you through muck, uncertainty, and plot twists that might rival a soap opera. However, it's not for the faint of heart to learn the true reason for your birth, so don't get too comfy just yet. You'll doubt your sanity, laugh, weep, and most likely wish the universe had provided you an instruction manual. As a spoiler, it didn't. You're here for that reason. Chosen one, let's work together to solve this riddle. Hold on tight. First of all, your birth was a planned interruption rather than an accident. You are a purposeful disturbance. You were not born by accident. You weren't born into a flawless world, and it wasn't meant to be. People get used to mediocrity. Traditions become old, and systems are defective. You are here for just that reason: to confront, to disrupt, and to reconstruct. You're being molded for the chaos you're supposed to untangle, which is why life seems weighty and complex rather than because you're lost. Consider this. Everything in nature changes in order to survive, flourish, and adapt. However, even when something is damaged, people want to cling to what is familiar. But you're not wired that way. You challenge norms that no longer make sense and see foundational fractures that others overlook. You're not intended to fit in. Therefore, you don't. Your energy, intuition, and intelligence are made to inspire change rather than conform to outmoded conventions. The catch is that this isn't a glamorous career. Being disruptive is difficult. You'll have a sense of alienation. People may misinterpret you, criticize you, or even be afraid of what you have to offer. The reason for this is because they aren't prepared for the impact you were meant to have. This is the cost of being a person who changes the world rather than just existing in it. The reason you are here is a deliberate reaction to the broken. You are destined to build a place that does not yet exist, which is why you feel out of place. That internal tension, it serves as your compass. The world is waiting for the change that only you can bring about, even if it may not realize it yet. You were designed to reinvent the system, not to fit into it. You're really here for that purpose. Don't squander it. Second, the path to power is in your deepest agony. It wasn't a chance event or a cruel turn of events that caused you the most agony you've ever experienced. Rather, it was the world giving you what you needed to achieve your destiny. That suffering was designed to shape you into the person you were always destined to be, not to shatter you. The secret to the power you've been seeking is right in what harmed you the most. Consider this. The portions of your story that define you are the things that broke you, the times that seemed intolerable. They provide you with depth, perspective, and empathy that others must experience firsthand. In actuality, individuals often attempt to ignore, numb, or flee from their suffering, but in doing so, they are burying the very aspect of themselves that has the capacity to affect the most significant change. Your suffering is your strength, not your foe. It's related to your objective, which is why it feels so weighty. The lessons you're here to teach the world are closely related to the things that hurt you the most, whether it was rejection, loss, failure, or betrayal. You were given this suffering because you possess the strength to change it. And once you do, you will shine a light for others who remain in the dark. Owning pain is the goal here, not praising it. It's about understanding that you are here to confront what shattered you, start again, and utilize it to do something remarkable, rather than to live a life of avoidance. Pain is your raw material, not your weakness. You'll discover how strong you've always been if you have the courage to lean into it. Type Amen. To embrace the angel's blessings, show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. The third is that your divine blueprint is what makes you unique. It's your blueprint, not your defects, that make you feel different or out of place. It's not a coincidence that you don't fit into the world as it is, despite your peculiarities and instincts. You weren't intended to follow the same road as everyone else. Thus, you were made to stand apart. Silencing your individuality is like to severing the one thing that gives you strength. Consider this. Individuals are conditioned to comply by their surroundings. You are instructed to conform to social norms, obey the rules, and do what is expected of you from the time of your birth. However, nobody teaches you this. Purpose is killed by conformity. It is not your purpose to live someone else's life. Your trademark is your eccentricity, your uniqueness, and the aspects about you that make others take notice. They are the universe's method of preparing you for the role that only you can play. They are not an error. People often attempt to conceal the precise characteristics that contain the answers to their purpose throughout their life. You're wired for something different, as seen by the way you think differently, the ideas you have that others find impossible, and even the way you perceive the world differently than others do. The issue is that, despite the fact that those qualities are really your strengths, society deceives you into believing they are difficulties. Quit apologizing for your uniqueness. Give up attempting to squeeze yourself into areas that weren't designed with you in mind. You are here to establish new rules, not to abide by existing ones. You are here to create something greater than what currently exists, and the very things that make you feel out of place are evidence of that. When you take ownership of your blueprint, the world will be forced to pay attention, since it is the reason you are here. The fourth is that you were created to solve an issue that no one else can see. You're not here by accident. There's a purpose. Long before you were born, the universe saw a need, an issue, or a query that no one else could answer, and you were made, not as a last resort, but as the solution. The issue you're supposed to address isn't evident. It's not noisy, and it won't make an announcement on its own. It inhabits the silent times, the things that irritate or excite you, and the inequalities or gaps that you find impossible to overlook. This is what most people sleep to throughout their lives. Because it's simpler than facing the persistent sense that something is amiss, they choose for routines, expectations, and diversions. However, you are unique. The whisper is beckoning you if you've ever felt disconnected from the outside world or as if you're waiting for something to happen. Simply put, you haven't been paying enough attention. The fact is that, contrary to what you believe, the issue you were meant to address may not even exist yet. Fixing what's wrong isn't always the goal. Sometimes creating something completely new is more important. You have a viewpoint on the world that others don't share. It appears too odd, too audacious, or too impractical. That's precisely why you have to deal with it. Nobody else can feel the urgency you do or see the connections you do. You cannot dodge or assign this task. If you don't pick up, the issue remains unsolved and the world keeps losing out on what you have to offer. It's about waking up, paying attention, and assuming the part you were meant to play, not about being flawless or prepared. It's your turn now that the question has been put out there. The fifth is that you have been hidden in plain sight. It's likely that you already know why you're here. It's that thing you keep putting off because it seems too huge, too frightening, or too difficult. It's not some enigmatic, faraway secret. You're not ignorant of your mission. You're simply acting as if you don't see it because confronting it would require you to take a step you're not sure you're prepared for. The reality? You're scared of the weight that comes with it, but you're ready. It's simpler to keep yourself occupied with diversions and to persuade yourself that life is only about getting by and surviving. That tug you can't seem to get rid of, however, is your talent crying out to you. Because it seems safer than taking ownership of what makes you unique. You have been hiding behind justifications, assimilating into routines, and acting like you are typical. But you're not here to be safe. We are conditioned by the environment to minimize ourselves, to play small, to follow the crowd, and to remain out of the spotlight. However, hiding just postpones the inevitable. It doesn't eliminate your mission. Despite your best efforts to hide it, your talent will continue to come to light. It will manifest itself in the things that occupy your thoughts, in the possibilities that frighten you the most, and in the obstacles that seem designed to confront you. It's time for you to wake up. Quit avoiding the task for which you were created. Your worry is evidence that your mission is greater than your comfort zone, not that you are ill-prepared. You've spent enough time hidden in plain sight. You can only really feel alive if you take on the responsibilities that come with your skill. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing La 111. The sixth is that the world needs you, not another hero. The world is waiting for you, with all your peculiarities, imperfections, and special genius, to stand up and solve the issue you were created to solve, not for some generic hero to come along and rescue the day. Being a superhero with a cape or a larger-than-life figure is not necessary. The fact is that the world wants you, the authentic, unadulterated, unrepentant version of yourself, not another copy-paste job of someone else's definition of greatness. The problem is that so many individuals lose up before they even begin because the thought of changing the world is so daunting. They lose sight of what really matters because they believe it's about being flawless or mending everything. You're here for one task that fits with your voice, your experiences, and your abilities, not to fix every issue. That is where you have power. Being everything to everyone is not your duty. Instead, you should concentrate on what makes you feel good. Perhaps it's a gap you've observed that no one else seems to care about, an idea that keeps you up at night, or a cause you can't ignore. You're in that lane. Because no one else has your viewpoint or your unique set of skills, the universe didn't give it to anybody else. You will only get exhausted if you attempt to be a hero in the conventional sense. The world needs individuals who are genuine, who aren't scared to be themselves and take on the particular problems they are attracted to. It doesn't require generic heroes. Therefore, stop trying to be what other people want you to be, and just be yourself, completely and fearlessly. That is just what the world has been waiting for, and it is more than sufficient. The eighth rule is that you will keep failing until you find your true mission. If you experience a setback, disappointment, or a plan that fails in front of you, it's not because you're not worthy or capable. Rather, it's because you're attempting to live a life that isn't in line with your true mission. Failure isn't the punishment we've been taught to fear. It's the universe's way of saying, "Not this, try again." The universe is accurate, not cruel. Anything that doesn't align with your intended route is rejected. Failure is really a signal, a large, conspicuous neon sign that tells you that what you're pursuing isn't appropriate for you. We've been conditioned to see failure as something to avoid, something that sets our bounds. It's protection, not punishment. The world is closing the doors that would take you further away from the life you were destined to lead. The longer the pattern continues, the more you fight against this reality. The failures will continue until you pause and pay attention. No matter how much you attempt to push against the grain, impose a route, or create a life around what other people expect of you. What do they want you to know? They're attempting to lead you where? Failure is not an adversary, but a teacher. It draws you closer to what belongs in your tale and removes what doesn't. It's there to help you change course, think things through, and realign, not to force you to give up. Until you understand that the only path ahead is via the task for which you were created, you will continue to fall. Everything changes when you stop avoiding it and connect yourself with your true self. Success is about realizing what those failures were directing you toward all along, not about never failing. 9. There was a purpose behind the timing of your birth. You weren't brought into this world by accident, and you weren't put in this particular moment for no purpose at all. The world needs precisely what you have, which is why you were born today. This era's instability, difficulties, and uncertainty aren't coincidental. They're the backdrop for the part you were meant to play. Only you possess the special set of qualities, abilities, and viewpoints needed at this historical juncture. There are heroes, innovators, and visionaries in every age, but they weren't born into that period. They were put there on purpose, and so were you. Your whole life is a reaction to the problems that surround you. If they seem overpowering and the world seems damaged in ways that you cannot ignore, there is something inside you that is well suited to what this time requires. Perhaps it's your capacity for original thought, for seeing possibilities where others see barriers. Perhaps it's your fortitude, honed by obstacles you didn't seek for, but managed to overcome. Perhaps it's the way you relate to others, motivate them, or maintain your composure when all else fails. Whatever it is suited to the demands of the moment and is not arbitrary. It is possible that you were born in a different time period, but you weren't. You're not here by accident, and you're not a misfit. The environment in which you were born, the hardships, the turmoil, the changing tides, is ideal for the development of your mission. You are here to influence this historical moment, not just to endure it. Your birth's timing is a plan, not a coincidence. Will you rise to the occasion and fulfill the purpose you were put here? Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. The 10th is that you are here to address issues that have not yet been identified. Sometimes your mission isn't something that perfectly fits into the here and now. In fact, it may seem out of step with current trends or popular culture. And that's because your true purpose is to prepare for difficulties that haven't even materialized yet, not to follow current courses. You were created to address issues that aren't currently being faced by the world. But your creativity, viewpoint, and vision will be exactly what's required when the time comes. Your mission is rooted in tomorrow's demands, not today's upheaval. Even if it may seem like everyone is focused on today's problems, technology, climate change, social challenges, and economic instability, you've been subtly molded and equipped to deal with the problems that will surface in the next 10 years, even if the world hasn't even started to notice them yet. You possess the capacity to foresee, think ahead, and develop answers before they are even considered by others, whether in domains such as artificial intelligence, the changing global economy, or novel forms of human connection. You won't shine there, but it's easy to be sidetracked by what other people are doing and feel compelled to fit your purpose into the existing mold. Those who are able to look beyond the present and challenge the status quo by anticipating and planning for the future are the ones who have the power to alter the world. You are here to identify the challenges of the future and provide answers that no one has ever thought of. You were not created to tackle problems that currently exist. You'll be ahead of the curve, coming up with something completely original, while others rush to keep up with the latest trends. Now is the time to have faith that your mission transcends the cacophony of today. Continue to look forward. When the future begins to take shape, that's when your true labor starts.